Happy Sunday, everybody. This is Wendy from Parenting Through Ascension. If you're watching this on the Higher Self YouTube channel, please go to my channel and subscribe. That would be fabulous. I've got quite a few videos on there already. I just started this channel in September, so not a ton, but there are, close to 20 now. So I do try to do a couple a week. So just talking about my journey in this ascension path as a light warrior. You know, I've been using the term light worker like a lot of us do, and somebody who's not a light worker said to me that term is so overused that they don't put any stock in it anymore. So I was like, maybe we do need a new term. And light worker is exactly what we are, obviously, but somebody else had said light warrior today. Roger Richards, I think. I was watching a live stream of his. If you don't know him, he's involved in the movie coming out on Halloween called Above Majestic, which is Roger and just David Wilcott, Corey Good, Jordan Sather, Nira Isley, Laura Eisenhower. I mean, just so many people involved in that. And that's going to be coming out online, I believe. Yeah, just online on Halloween. So be on the lookout for that. That's going to be amazing disclosure and a great way to, as they put it, maybe have a red pill party for people who are just starting to see, maybe just on the edge, maybe open to learning about what's going on in the world. So truly going on in the world, not the illusion that we've been shown for so long. So anyway, I wanted to come on today because I was lying down yesterday, which I'm sure a lot of you can relate. Sometimes the energy just wipes me out, knocks me on my ass. And my husband and I had taken an evening walk. We took the dog for a walk, and it was really nice. Let me try and... Sorry. And it was getting dark. We took a flashlight, but it was getting dark. And we were, like I think I've said before, we live out in kind of in the country, in a suburb, if you will, an annex of Pueblo, Colorado, and we're kind of we're out by a reservoir and a state park, and it's just beautiful. And we were walking on a dirt road that he'd never been on before, which was kind of fun. And we saw an owl. An owl came and flew right in front of us, like, you know, up in the sky, but right in front of us, and went over a house, and it was very cool. We do have owls here of all kinds, but you just don't, you don't see them very often. And to see one soaring too was kind of cool. And so anyway, we got home, and I immediately just had to lie down, and that's been pretty typical recently. Just to process, and I think I realized last night too that I walk every day. I shoot for an hour. I try to walk for an hour, and I power walk because it's really the only kind of dedicated exercise that I get. I move throughout the day because I'm a mom. I do dishes, laundry, cooking, cleaning, and we have stairs, so I get some movement. But it's really all I get as far as kind of a deliberate exercise. Plus, it's my zen. I put my earbuds in. I catch up on videos. I listen to Jordan Sather. I listen to Higher Realm Holistics. I listen to Indigo Light. Look him up. Alexander Papagiorgio is wonderful. So I kind of catch up on my videos. I just listen, obviously, or I listen to music. But I noticed that as much as I enjoy my walks, I get home and I have to lie down. And normally you would think, working out is supposed to give you energy for the rest of the day, right? Well, it's kind of working the opposite. And I realized last night that it is actually... because I'm really kind of in my head, I'm zen, I'm thinking about, I'm really kind of meditating while I'm walking. And I am walking at a good clip, and I kind of, like, there are times where I am at the end of a street and I have no recollection, my last recollection of, being in the present was at the beginning of the street, right? Like, all of a sudden I'm at the end and I go, ooh, like, I'm here already. I don't remember the last 3 blocks or whatever. And that's okay. That's kind of why I do it, so that I can be in that state. I like to be able to do that because when I'm home with my kids, I don't get a lot of time for that. And I homeschool, so my kids never leave. They're always here. So, which is fabulous. Don't get me wrong. It's wonderful. But anyway, I realized that the walking, the Zen, the being, the connecting with my intuition, the kind of leaving my body while I'm walking, you know, I just kind of let, I just kind of be, I just kind of let whatever's going to happen, happen. And that is opening me up and allowing me to release. And so when I get home and I stop moving, like I noticed too, I'm walking the good clip. And if I stop for any reason, like a car, maybe a car is coming and I actually have to stop at an intersection, which very rarely out here, especially when I'm walking on a weekday at 10 in the morning, there's just not a lot of traffic. But if I have to stop, I feel kind of this surge of energy, like something is telling me you keep walking. Like you need to keep moving. Would you stop for? And I'll feel like the energy, like it's like almost like the walking is helping me. It is like the walking is helping me release things. It's opening me up. It's helping things go. And so I get home and I'm not walking at that pace anymore, and I stop, you know, moving, and my whole body's like, whew, okay, lay down for a little while because you loosened up a lot. So I knew that the walking was good for me, obviously for physical reasons. And, you know, back in February and for months before that, actually 2 years, guys, I went 2 years without moving, I'd wake up, you know, we'd go places and stuff and I'd walk through the grocery store, but that was it. I'd sit at my computer for hours and hours. At the time I was a copywriter, a ghostwriter. I had a few clients that I was doing a lot for online, and I just sat at my computer for hours, sometimes 6 hours without getting up. And I know that's not good. But you know, I'm like, well, this is my, you know, it was a stepping stone for me to get to my, to get to my true soul purpose, doing this work, because I was working for energy healers and coaches and life coaches and that kind of thing. So it was a stepping stone, and I thought, well, I'm doing my mission. Why would it be bad for me? I ended up, sickness came through the house, and the kids were miserable, and I got it, and everybody got better, and I didn't. And it just kind of sat, and I couldn't figure out why I wasn't getting better. Well, I wasn't moving. I wasn't taking care of my body. I wasn't listening to my body, that it needed to move, and it needed to eat. Like, we have been eating healthy for years, but, or, you know, organic, no gluten, no processed food, no, very little processed food, I will admit. We do, you know, sometimes still do the potato chips and crackers and that kind of thing, but I do try to buy the healthiest versions of those things. But we don't eat, you know, we don't do cereal, we don't do dyes, we don't do processed sugar. And we've been doing that for years. And so I thought, well, I eat healthy, I'll be fine. Well, I was still eating probably more carbs than I should have, more sugar. So I'm eating all the sugar, feeding the bacteria, right? And not moving, not working it through me. And so I ended up with pneumonia by February. I had pneumonia so bad I was hospitalized. So I am never making that mistake again. And I started walking slowly. It was a really slow process because I'd been so sick. I mean, I literally came very close to dying before I went to the hospital. And so, you know, I'm not going to do that again. And so I've been walking, and I walk this. So I knew it was good for me, but I just realized last night, just made the connection. You know, this is really good for me in my journey too, my processing, my being open, because I tend to when I'm here, when I get stuck in the, or feel like I'm stuck, right, in the chores, in the housekeeping of life, in the taking care of the kids, I tend to close up, or I feel like I'm closing up, where I'm not allowing things to open up. So the walking is amazing. And walking in nature, of course, is even better. And we have amazing views out here of the mountains. We got the wet mountains, the Spanish Peaks, and the Sangre de Cristo Mountains, and we have a great view just from our house even, but walking around is wonderful. So anyway, I got home and I'm lying in bed, and it was like 7 o'clock, and my whole family's out in the living room doing their thing, and I suddenly saw myself pulling 4 cards from this deck, and I keep my decks right next to on my nightstand, and so without even opening my eyes, I knew this deck was right on top. Without even opening my eyes, I reached over and grabbed it. It was already open. You know, I had the lid underneath the back of it because that was the last deck that I had used. And so without even opening my eyes, I dumped it in my hand. I spread it right next to me on the bed, and I pulled 4. I flipped 4 over. Not open my eyes. I put the 4 aside. I, you know, packed the deck back together and put it in the box and put it back on the table. And so I had these 4 cards. And so I laid there another 10 minutes, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to look at these cards. I had the lights off, and I was like, I have to turn the light on to see the cards. And so I sat up slowly, and I'm telling you, it really throws me for a loop sometimes. I get so much moving from these walks. And so I sat up, I turned the light on, and I was blown away by these cards. I'm like, wow. And so the first thing I noticed was this one. If you can say, I know it's backwards for you guys, but it says Mystic Healer. Healing energy flows through you, and look how beautiful that is. It's a lovely lady in a white dress with energy just emanating from her hands, from her aura. I mean, she's just glowing. And look, the owl. There's the owl. And right away I knew that was the owl that we'd seen when we were walking. The reason this was the 3rd card I pulled, the reason it got my attention is because I have never seen this card before. And this is my favorite deck. I've had it for at least 6 months, if not longer. I'm relatively new to all these fun tools on this journey, the crystals, the pendulums, and the cards. But I've had it at least 6 months, and I probably pull cards from it 4 or 5 times a week. Never seen this card before. And the crazy thing about it is, and I hope it's okay with her, but a friend of mine connected to my Akashic Records. I just want to hold it up there because she's so pretty. A friend of mine had connected to my Akashic Records just a few days ago and said, I saw you in your, in your soul form, or in your higher self form, I believe is what she saw. She said, and you had the long flowing hair, which I do kind of have. She said, you had the long flowing hair and you were wearing a white dress. And then I pulled this card that I've never seen before. And I was like, whew, awesome. I mean, that's me. That's me, sans the glasses, but that's me. And the owl, is one of my guardians, one of my reminders to connect to my infinite wisdom, which I sometimes forget to do. I think I know everything, and I'm living from ego. So anyway, the very first card, I wanted to point this out too, because as I was getting ready to do this video, I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing a video on. And I'm like, oh, I'll share the cards. But I knew I wanted to do a video today. And I'm like, oh, I'll share the cards. And I'm looking at them, and I thought, oh my God, like the cards came out in the order of this journey for all of us. I don't think it's just specifically me. I think we've all gone through these steps. So, card number 1, Valiant Courage. And it says, take action with passion. Well, what did this journey start with? If you were like me, I have had to have more courage than I thought I ever possessed on this journey, just to sometimes get through not the day, but each minute. So if you have felt like that, this was step number 1. We had to have courage. And of course we're infused with strength and given strength by our guides and source and every time we connect. And then this was the second one, crossing bridges. And it says it's time for healing, connecting, mending, and releasing. Well, isn't that what came next? Once we committed to not checking out, to staying, to being here, to doing this process, that's when the shit hit the fan, right? But it was healing, connecting, mending, and releasing. Step 2. And yes, that will always kind of be there, but the idea, the goal, obviously, is to get through because this is the first, for many of us, the first lifetime that we're going through this, that we're present for something like this in a physical reality, totally drew a blank. Whew, seriously, what is going on? Yeah, for those of us who this is the first time we're experiencing an ascension like this on a global scale, there were big things that we had to uncover. That we had to dig through, that we had to, like, big purging. Just like, purging your garage when it gets out of hand, you got to dive right in and just do one thing at a time and pull out one thing out of the box at a time. And that's what we've been doing. But there are these big things because we've had these past lives that we never released, this ancestral baggage that we agreed through soul contracts to release for our ancestors that we don't need to be doing. We can release those contracts.
those cords, and I recently found out, thanks to Angie, Life Purpose Pathfinders, find her on Facebook. Thanks to Angie, who told me about hooks, which are essentially cords, but they're literally hooked into you like fish hooks. And so check her out. She's awesome. So then this one came third, right? So we have the courage, essentially, and that could have started, honestly, now that I think about it. Think about it this way. This valiant courage actually started the minute our souls agreed to this journey. The minute our souls were like, yeah, sign me up. That looks fun. So fun. And so the valiant courage, we had to have that. We just had to have that. And of course our souls, our infinite courage, because our souls know that, and trust that everything is all part of the divine plan. And so step one was the courage, then comes the purging, crossing the bridge, then comes the gifts coming in. We start to realize maybe we are magical creatures. Like, we start to realize how badass we are, how amazing we are, how superhuman we are. We're not just humans. And granted, human beings are amazing. We have been lied to and, been forced to live in this illusion that teaches us that we're not amazing, that we have to compete for everything. And that's just a lie. That's a lie. We are amazing. I mean, look at that. Every woman watching this is you. This is me. We're all mystic healers. If you're watching this video, you're a healer. So, and look how beautiful we are. That's me, y'all. I am totally embracing that. And I showed my husband this card, and the first thing he said was, we need to get you that dress. I was like, yeah, hell yeah. And so, yeah, I love it. So, step 3. And of course, there's a lot more to this, but I just thought it was interesting that it literally spelled out what we're going through right now. So the courage, the purging, the gifts showing up, and hopefully for all of you, they are starting to show up. For me, it's so far just been, and not just, but it's been like my intuition is just wide open. And I'm having trouble, actually, a little bit of trouble again, going out where there are a lot of people, because I'm seeing so much. But I know that's part of the process, so that's okay. And guess what? Step 4, after the gifts come in, is stepping into our roles in this life. And guess what we are? Wise leaders. I think it's probably backwards for you guys. I don't know how to make it not, but if it's not, great. It's backwards for me when I hold it up to the screen. But it says, wise leader, you are a beacon for others. And again, if you're a light warrior, which I'm gonna switch to that term instead of light worker, because light worker, doesn't that sound exhausting? Light warrior, that sounds empowering. That's more empowering to me. So now we're stepping in, and the gifts are showing up. Now we're stepping into our true power, our true soul purpose. And that is to be wise leaders as humanity starts to go through the same process that we just went through, that we've been going through, that we are still going through. But for the most part, we are done with all the big shit. And I don't know about you, but I need to believe that. I need that to be true. And so, and I do believe it is. So this past week has been just amazing energy-wise. I'm integrating. There's lots of integrating. I'm processing a lot. But it's just, I feel better than ever. I can't imagine ever going back to who I was even 6 months ago. So even a month ago, I wasn't here. Every day more opens up, and more, I see more. And so I just wanted to share that with you. So one more time. So, and this is, by the way, the Sacred Traveler deck, Oracle cards by Denise Lynn. I absolutely love the artwork. And all the cards are, they're simple. I have a beautiful, and I love it, shaman deck. The cards are so busy sometimes, y'all. I'm like, I look at the decks, I'm like, I want to pull a card, and I'm like, oh, not that one. I don't have the energy to decipher that one, because they're so complicated. They're beautiful beyond belief. So, but I like the simple. The simplicity of this deck. So the courage, y'all. We are braver than we ever knew possible. The purging, we're through the toughest part. If you're a light warrior, and you'll know. Does that term resonate with you? Do you go yes when you hear that term, or even light worker, whatever, or healer, or first waver, forerunner? If if your heart leaps at that, at any of those terms, then you are a light warrior. So and if you are in these first waves, which I sometimes get hung up on that too. First wave, second wave, it really doesn't matter. We're all going through this just at our own speeds when we're ready for each step. But it is, I just think it's so cool, these 4 cards. And the funny thing is too, is I've never pulled 4 cards before, ever. I've done 1. I typically do 1. I climb in bed to go to sleep, and I'll pull a card for myself or for the collective or whatever. And then I'll pull it, and I'll set it on the table, and I will look at it in the morning and do a reading in the morning. But usually just 1. And I know, gosh, there are people out there who they're putting down whole decks and doing hour-long readings, and that's awesome. Those are amazing. I love watching those because every reading, the order they come in, the message that's coming through, each card will mean something different. But I just thought it was interesting that I've never pulled 4 before. And I wasn't even thinking about the cards, and all of a sudden I saw in my mind's eye, I saw myself pulling that deck out and pulling 4 cards, and I thought 4, and then I even saw myself arranging them like 1, 2, 3, 4 when I looked at them, and I even took a picture of them like that. And so anyway, sorry, I'm getting off track. So courage, purging, which we needed the courage for that, right? Seriously, the fortitude, I can't even. Immeasurable. The gifts, and I think so many of us are here, and even somewhere between here, and here. So our gifts are opening up, showing up. We're going to be blown away by what we can do, by who we really are. I'm already feeling it, and here's where we're headed. Now, obviously, this isn't the end. This is a destination, one of many. I do believe that it is the destination of all of these big, heavy, deep purges. Okay, so if you're in a place where you are feeling frustrated and low and you don't know how much more you can handle, I have so been there. I have been there, and remember the saying, when you have gone as far as you think you can, you've gone exactly as half as far as you're able. It's something like that, but you get the point. I don't have the exact words, but that's what it is. So when we feel like that's it, that's all I got, we're only halfway, and of what we are capable of. So if you're in that place right now, I totally feel you, sending you love and light right now, holding space for you, because you're doing it. You're absolutely doing it. You are, no kidding, a beacon for others. And this is where you're going. So hang in there, hold on, and let go at the same time. What the hell does that mean, Wendy? Just keep pushing forward and allow this process. Allow your guides to help. Allow, but ask. Like, set an intention every morning. Help me to stay open. Help me to live from my heart. Help me to clear my energy. Help me to clear my chakras. Set an intention, ask for help. They're just waiting. They're just hovering around you, waiting for you to ask. So anyway, I had no idea what I was going to do a video on today, but I really like that one. I love the cards. The cards are really fun tools to help you connect to your intuition when you are feeling like maybe you're disconnected or a little stuck. And so they're really amazing tools to kind of bring you back to that alignment. So, and I highly recommend Denise Lynn's. I don't have any other decks of hers, but I may specifically look up more decks of hers because they're just beautiful. There's even my little owl on the cover, up in the tree there, cutie. I love owls. Okay, so that's my video for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it gives you hope. My mission is to give people hope. My mission is to be peace in the chaos, which I have been told from many, many other people, and I had a hard time accepting that because it feels so big. but it's who I am. So I'm stepping into it. Thank you guys for watching. Again, please like and share my videos. Parenting Through Ascension is my channel. Again, I want to thank the Higher Self YouTube channel for running my videos. I really, really appreciate it, and I'm honored to be, reaching all of your subscribers as well. So like and share, because there may be someone in your friends list who needs to see this too. Even if you don't think they're ready, maybe somebody will be drawn to it. So that's all I want. I just want maybe one nugget out of my 25-minute videos to reach somebody. So thank you for watching. I love you all. Sending you all divine, unconditional love and light. Until next time.